Hey everybody, welcome back here with Muse Paint Bar to teach you how to create a very simple hot air balloon painting. I'm going to go over my materials very quickly for y'all. I have these 5 colors, your primaries, blue, red, and yellow, and white and black paint as well. I'm working on an 8x10 canvas panel. I have my brushes here with something with some water in it, whether it be a can, cup, bowl, some paper towels, and something to mix up my paint on, whether it be paper plates, cardboard, anything like that. Now, if you're thinking, what kind of paintbrushes do I need for this painting? I recommend one larger flat brush, one pointy brush, and at least one other brush that is somewhere in the middle in size. All right, let's get started. I hope you're excited as much as I am. I love this painting so much. I just love painting clouds. First thing we're going to do is mix up our background color first. We're going to use a big flat brush, and we're going to be mixing up a nice pale sky blue. I'm going to grab a nice big scoop of white paint, and then an itty bitty touch of your blue. Once you get your color mixed up for your sky, we're going to fill in our entire background with this color. I recommend working from side to side. This helps to apply the paint very smoothly. If you are working on a tabletop like I am, and you don't want to have it look like this one, I recommend that you put something down underneath of your painting, whether it be some newspaper or some paper towels. Now you do want to put this paint in fairly quickly, because what we are going to do is blend white paint right on top of it to create some highlights, to create some clouds. So once you get that blue in, go ahead and clean off that same brush, and then you're going to get into some white paint and very quickly just start to put in some streaks, very randomly. As many or a few of them as you like. I say keep them focused down near the bottom and just a few at the top. Once those streaks are there, then I want you to work from side to side to start blending them in. Depends on how streaky you want your sky to be. If you want it to be less streaky, you want to keep blending a lot longer. If you want it to stay pretty streaky, I would say try not to go over top of it more than like once or twice. And that is it for our background for now. We are going to let our paintings dry before we do anything on top, or else things will get pretty muddy. You can wait about 10 to 15 minutes, or you can use a blow dryer to make it dry a lot quicker.
A few moments later.
All right, we are back and it's time to add some clouds. I'm going to use a nice medium-sized brush. Mine is round at the edge, but if you only have one that's squared at the edge, that's okay too. We're going to use some pure white paint. And these clouds are just going to be keeping the brush facing upwards and doing a circular motion. When you get to the end of the cloud, you want to flick your brush out so the end of your cloud can be very pointy. I'll demonstrate one here. And then you can kind of go back in and play around with it if you want to. You can see it is more poofy on the top and flatter on the bottom. And do a bigger one down here. Now play with these clouds. They don't all have to be the same shape, same length, same size, right? think I'm pretty satisfied with my clouds right about there. Next up, we're going to be mixing up the color for our balloon. Let's go ahead and grab a nice medium brush. Make sure it's nice and clean. Grab a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, and a nice big scoop of red. Maybe a little bit more yellow. I definitely want this to be more on the orangey side, like a coral type of red. I'm pretty happy with this color. Now you can feel free to choose any color you want for your balloon. Maybe you want a pink, maybe you want a blue or green. It's really up to you, but definitely make sure that the paint has a little bit of white in it so that it goes on top of this blue paint without you seeing the blue paint shine through. All right, we're gonna figure out how big our balloon is going to be. So it's not right in the center of our canvas. I would say it's over to the right just a little bit. I want the top of my balloon to be just shy of the top, and I want it to end about a fourth way up from the bottom of my canvas. Perfect. Now, if you have a nice round flat brush like I do, this is going to be really easy to do with just single brush strokes. All you have to do is press and bring down to the bottom. As you bring it down to the bottom, let go of that pressure so that it's thinner down there. I'm going to widen it a little bit on the sides, almost like a flower petal. All right, then I'm going to go right next to it and just below, you don't want it to be same height, so just below, and then bring it back around and to that point. And we're going to do it one more time. Go just below. So that is our basic balloon shape. Kind of reminds me of a seashell. While we let that dry for just a moment, we're going to work on the small little box that we would all sit in if we were to be on this balloon. I'm going to be using a small tiny pointy brush in some black paint. Now all I'm going to do is make a tiny little square down at the bottom of my balloon. All right, next step, we're going to be putting the shadows and the highlights on our balloon. I'm going to be using a pointy brush to do this part, and I'm going to start with the shadows. So to this paint, to just a little bit on the side of it, I'm going to add a little bit more yellow and red, and a very small touch of black. I want this nice maroon shade. From there, we're going to be drawing lines to divide the parts of the balloon. So they're all going to come down to the bottom center, and we're going to be dividing these points right here. Make sure you do nice round lines to give the appearance that the balloon is full of air. Once you have those lines in, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more shadowing to the outside edges of these balloon lines. I'm really messily just throwing them in. Now it's time for the highlights. Clean that brush, and to another section of that color, you want to add some white paint to that. This is going to be a highlight color we're going to be throwing along the tops of these sections in our balloon, keeping that lung nice and round as we throw that in. We'll throw a couple lines in one of them. I could just do one single line. Next, I'm going to be coming back down to my little box that we all like to sit in. And we're going to be mixing up a brown color to put on top of it to really make it look like a basket. To make a brown, you want a scoop of yellow, a scoop of red, and a small touch of black. And then depending on how light you want your brown to be, add little bits of white at a time. And I'm just going to throw a couple little brown spots in there. We even do like one spot that's a little bit lighter of a brown. We got ourselves a little basket. Now here's where we get to decorate our balloon. You can do polka dots. I'm going to be doing one stripe that goes across. You can do many stripes. It's really up to you. My stripe is going to be a nice pale yellow. So I'm going to grab, with a pointy brush, a scoop of white, a touch of yellow, and mix those up. Now instead of just doing a straight line across, we want it to keep that round looking full shape of the balloon. So what we're going to be doing is little rainbow shapes across. So kind of towards the middle / middle bottom of your balloon. And do a little rainbow, stop, little rainbow, stop. And see how my brush is getting higher. The peak is going to be in this middle one, and then I'm going to be doing rainbows going downwards. And the last step, I'm going to be adding a couple of shadows into that line to make it seem more 3D. I'm going to be mixing up an orange with some yellow and red, maybe a touch of white. And we're going to be putting lines on the left side of each of these rainbows. Now that was the last and final step in creating our hot balloon painting. Of course, you want to make sure you sign your name just to make sure you know it's yours, and so does everyone else. Most people like to sign it in the bottom corner, but you're more than welcome to sign it wherever you wish. And once you're done with your painting, we would love to see how they turned out. You can feel free to drop them in the comments below or post them on social media and tag us at News Paint Bar. And if you guys had a wonderful time with us and would like to see more tutorials, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you again next time.